All right, what is up, tycoons? What's up, traders? Coming at you guys with another viewer request. We're going to take a look at the Electroneum token. All right, this is ticker symbol ETN. We're going to take a look at the weekly chart. We do have an inverse head and shoulders here with the left shoulder, head, right shoulder forming. Here recently, we were unable to really break our neckline. So I'm going to review that. We're also going to take a look on the daily time frame. We do need to be cautious. We have what's known as a bump and run pattern forming here, indicated by the prevailing uptrend with a strong bump up. And if we do break this trend line here, oftentimes you see the run happen, and you can see that currently we are starting the run and we have hit this point. All right, so we're going to go over that. Now, that pattern doesn't have to play out. Okay, no one pattern is guaranteed. We actually do have a bullish 5-wave structure forming here that we'll go over as well. So make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're also going to take a look at the MACD and the RSI and how you guys can use these to help give yourself an edge. Trading is like going to battle. It's like going to war, and your money is your army of soldiers, right? So you need to make sure that your army is equipped with the proper weapons, knows how to use those weapons properly. So that way you can increase your odds of success on the battlefield. So we're going to jump straight into it. All right, and go over everything. But before we move any forward, quick disclaimer: the content provided in this YouTube channel is for informational, educational purposes only. Is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. Myself and any individuals that appear in this YouTube channel are not registered financial advisors or brokers. Trading in stocks, bonds, commodities, and crypto involve a significant risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. So be sure to read through the full disclaimer. And we'll go ahead and start off here with that weekly chart inverse head and shoulders that I mentioned. All right, so we have this strong demand zone here, all right, that we established here and here as well. And you can see we came back into the zone again and got a strong push up. We were looking to see if we were going to be able to break this trend line here that we came up and retested multiple times. But unfortunately, we were not able to do that. So right now, we're going to see, how things develop and zoom in on some smaller time frames to really get a look at more of the day-to-day price action. Now, if this inverse head and shoulder plays out, we do have some bullish price targets to the upside. Okay, we have our breakout level here of 0.00334, and then our bullish price targets above there are going to be 0.00362, as well as 0.00377 and 0.0039832. Now, as I mentioned, when you zoom in, we do have this bump and run pattern here forming, indicated by the prevailing uptrend, right, which is what we have over here. And then we saw the sharp bump upwards that we had, and we have begun the run process, right? So if you notice the way that the run works, you get a bounce, retest, and then you break through that trend line. We are currently here testing the initial, prevailing uptrend trend line, which is also right here at our 50% retracement level. Now, the 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% retracement levels, these are the three most common and well-respected retracement levels using the fibs. And you use these because nothing moves in a straight line down or in a straight line up. Rather, what you would get is a move up, retracement, continuation higher, or you would get a move down, retracement, continuation lower. So that's how we can identify this trend continuation, right? If we move up, retrace, and continue higher, then we can hit those bullish price targets. But you can also spot reversals with these, right? So if you move up, retrace, and you start to consolidate and break through those retracement levels, that's how you can spot a potential downside reversal. So, right now, we are at healthy retracement territory, bouncing off of the 50% retracement level here, and we're going to see if we can continue to push higher. But if we do end up breaking through this 50% retracement level and also this, prevailing uptrend trend line that we have right here, it is very possible that we could come back down and retest this prior demand zone that we've tested multiple times. So you do need to be cautious and be aware of that. If we zoom in a little bit more and we take a look at our bullish 5-wave structure, what you can see here is, wave 4 would coincide with a healthy retracement to these levels. So our 61.8% level is going to be 0.0024627. All right. Below there, we're going to be bearish, right? So, if we break below there and flip that to resistance from support, then we're going to be bearish below there. And most likely we're going to end up seeing that type of reversal. Now, if we hold above there, as well as our 50%, which is 0.0026210, then we have the possibility of getting our wave 5, which would take us up higher over this overhead supply zone that we've tested about 2 or 3 times. And take us up towards our breakout level here of 0.0033435. and again up towards the bullish price targets that I get mentioned before. Now when it comes to the RSI and the MACD, they're pretty useful for spotting potential entries and exits. So one thing you can look at on the RSI, now keep in mind this measures the relative strength of a token at whatever price that it's at right now. Okay, and so we can see when we came to these overbought conditions, which is simply above this dotted line right here. All right, this dotted line is 70. That's the technical definition of overbought on the RSI. You can see we came up to these overbought conditions and we did end up getting a pullback back into our demand zone, right? Same thing over here recently. We were overbought, right? And we're starting to get a pullback, but we're still in that healthy retracement territory, holding above our major 3 retracement levels. Now, when you start to combine that with the MACD and the RSI, you really get an edge in the game. Okay, now it's not always going to work as a perfect signal. If you take a look here, we did get a bearish crossover, which is what would be known as a sell signal. So you see the red line crosses below this yellow line here. That would be known as a sell signal, but price action actually went a little bit higher, right? And then over here, what do we see? We end up seeing another sell signal with the red line crossing below, and then that's when we really got the strong move to the downside, right? Now over here, when the red line crosses up above, that's typically known as an entry signal, but you can see there was a very sharp pullback right after that entry signal, and what happened is we ended up getting the real entry signal right over here, and we saw a strong push from our demand zone here up into our supply zone there. Now, if we look at the MACD here currently, we are starting to cross over to the downside. So it's going to be interesting. Do we get a real sell signal and start to head lower? If that is the case, then most likely we're going to break through these retracement levels. But if we see it do what it's done here previously, where it crosses down below and then crosses back above, that could coincide with us finding support and rallying to try to get that 5-wave move to the upside. Markets tend to move in 3-wave and 5-wave structures. So that's just something, to keep in mind and start getting familiar with when it comes to the different structures. So if we take a look at everything all together and really combine everything that we're looking at, including the inverse head and shoulders, the 5-wave structure, and the bump and run, that's what we've got on the chart now, right? So, it may look a little complicated, but when you break things down individually, then you can start to look at the big picture and grand scheme of everything combined together. Quick message from today's sponsor, guys, which is the Tangem wallet. Now, if you're not familiar, you need to get your money off of these exchanges. Okay, there's a common phrase: if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. And after the FTX collapse and really the collapse of many exchanges, you should be aware by now that your money is not necessarily safe on these exchanges. So it's very important to take your money off of these exchanges, and I recommend using the Tangem cold storage wallet. Now, what's really awesome about it is that it looks just like a regular credit card and it functions without any batteries, wires, and connectors. So no longer do you have to, carry around a PC or plug it into a PC or a laptop. It's also very quick to set up. It typically takes about 1 to 3 minutes. It literally only took me 2 minutes to get mine set up. I really loved how quick I was able to do that. It's super easy to use. You just scan and activate, set up the password, and you can start making transactions today. So what you want to do is go to the Google Play Store or go to the Apple App Store, download the Tangem app today. And when you go to make your purchase, you can buy a pack of 2 or 3 cards. And the reason being is that these other ones are going to be backups, right? So you can actually have multiple cards for the same wallet, just in case you lose your card. Your money's not lost forever, right? Or it's not stolen forever if something happens and it gets stolen, or there's an emergency situation, and you lose it and it gets taken from you. All right, you do actually have backups. I really love that feature. So download the app, and when you go to make your purchase, use code Zackley. That's ZACHLY. All right, just like the channel name Zackley Trades, and you guys will get a discount on your purchase. Now, it's compatible with over 2,729 cryptocurrencies. It's also DeFi compatible, which I really love. You can see some of the more popular, DeFi applications on here, such as Curve Finance, Yearn Finance. There's PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Aave. Lots of great features in there. And what's really nice is that this thing is also completely waterproof, guys. So you can completely submerge it in water and it still will function. It's also freeze proof and heat resistant. So what I like to say is that it's basically life proof, right? If you happen to be carrying it with you and it gets wet, or let's say you drop it in some water or you drop it in a pool or something like that, you don't have to panic. It still will work. It still will function, even if it gets frozen. So I really love that. go ahead and download the Tangent app today. And when you go to make your purchase, use code exactly. That will get you a discount on your purchase and also will help support the channel as well. So to summarize everything that we're looking at together, guys, right? We have our right shoulder from the weekly time frame. We have that inverse head and shoulders. We're trying to look and see if it's going to push us up to our bullish price targets to the upside. All right, we have the MACD potentially flashing a sell signal, which is also pretty important because we have that bearish bump and run pattern. So, we're not positive, right? If we're going to get this inverse head and shoulders, and if we're going to get this 5-wave structure to take us up to our bullish price targets, because we have, the bump and run pattern forming here, which is bearish and could take us back to this down demand zone. And we also potentially have a sell signal about to form here on the MACD. Now, we're currently not overbought at the moment, and we're still above 50 on the RSI, and above 50 is relatively bullish. It means that there's still some relative strength left in this token. And ultimately, we're still above our major retracement levels here of 0.00277, 0.00262, and 0.00246. So that's what I'm looking at and paying attention to right now when it comes to ETN and Electroneum. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you guys don't miss any of the future ones.